Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 13th Annual Hotel Conference. This year, I'm pleased to say that once again, our numbers are up and our sponsors are up. And I have to say, on behalf of Jonathan and I and the whole AHC team, a very, very big thank you to you all for the support that you have given us over all the years. The theme this year is performing in transient times. With the rises of Airbnb and the fight between brands and non-brands, the onward march of OTAs, we do indeed live in transient times in our industry. But I'm sure you'll all agree that over the last year, it has been good to us. Whilst the market has lived in transient times, so has the AHC. Because some of you may have read that earlier this summer, Questex have invested in the AHC to increase the brand and run it alongside their very successful IHIF and other hospitality brands they have around the world. Very exciting and transit times for us. But don't think you're going to get rid of Jonathan and I. We're not being pushed into the long grass, and we'll be here helping you to run this conference for the next few years. I'd now like to introduce you to Alexi Khajavi, the Executive Vice President of Questex, who also wants to say a few words to you all. Have a great conference.
Chris, thank you. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. It's Wednesday, it must be Manchester. As Chris mentioned, Questex is the organizer of IHI Berlin, as well as a number of other hotel investment conferences, as well as hotel management conferences throughout Europe, Asia, and the US. And incredibly, with all of the hotel conferences around the world, there are only a few conferences that can both inform as well as inspire. And the AHC is one of them. And that is why we are so thrilled as Questex to partner with Chris, Jonathan, and the rest of the AHC team to continue delivering great networking, thought-provoking content, and the inspirational fuel that will drive this fantastic industry forward. So without further ado, let's get right to that. And it is my pleasure to introduce our partner, the co-founder, and the conference host of the 2016 edition of the Annual Hotel Conference, Mr. Jonathan Langston.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I add my own warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for taking the trouble and the time to come along to the 13th Annual Hotel Conference. I'm going to help move things along, as Alexi said, in these plenary sessions, and shortly I shall introduce to you our keynote opening speaker. But before I do, there are a couple of important agenda items just to cover off. So firstly, if you haven't already done so, I'd really urge you to register and use the AHC Connect app to make sure that you make the most of your time at the conference. Not only does it contain all the information about the event and what's happening, when and where, but it's the best way to make those networking connections, both over the next couple of days and in the weeks and months after it's fully live as we continue. The second thing, and really important, is about the charity. We've always sought to support a charitable cause at the AHC, and this year there are two beneficiaries of your generosity, and those are Hospitality Action and Children in Need. With a history dating back to 1837, Hospitality Action offers vital assistance to all who work or who have worked within the hospitality industry in the UK and who find themselves in crisis. The BBC's Children in Need has a well-deserved reputation for helping disabled children and young people across the UK, having raised over £600 million since it started in 1980. Now, last year, our charitable activities received a massive boost with the inauguration of the Great Hotel Bike Ride, when 8 cyclists took to the road to pedal the 350 kilometres from London, St Pancras to Manchester in the 2 days leading up to the conference. This year, their numbers have virtually tripled to 23, and they've already smashed their £7,000 target. So fantastic. And can I ask all of the riders to stand up and take a bow and a rapturous round of applause? so much have they raised that we'd just like to make a special presentation to a very special personality who's coming forward to the stage now. I mentioned that one of the charities was Children in Need, and so here to receive a cheque on behalf of Children in Need is Pudsey Bear. Well done. So as you know, Pudsey doesn't speak, but he thanks everybody on behalf of Children in Need. Special mention must also go to the efforts and support of CBRE Hotels, Lloyds Bank, who's a principal partner of Children in Need, and Summerston Capital. Also to Marriott Hotels for a great send-off at the Renaissance St Pancras and overnight rest, sustenance, ice baths, massage at the Leicester Marriott. And none of it would have been possible without the organising committee of Dylan Burke, Alexander Johansson, Ben Livingston and Joe Stather, who've worked throughout the year to make things happen. So please do continue to dig deep for these worthy causes and for the supreme effort of this team of cyclists, and let's make sure they get even further beyond their target. There's a great Hotel Bike Ride Just Giving page online, and they've also got the QR code on the banner that's just outside, so you can zip straight there with your mobile phone. Donating couldn't be easier, so we really expect that number to swell significantly over the next 2 days. Next year, they're targeting 40 riders and massively in excess of £10,000, so get that bicycle and Lycra on your Christmas list and sign up now.